es en vivo, tu mejor opción en internet, radiocristalUSA.com.
Hi, bienvenidos a mi show. Welcome to Catching Up with Claudia. Now, ojalá que se puedan quedar hasta el final para que puedan escuchar lo que va a compartir mi invitada o mi invitado. Así es que no se les olvide también de seguirnos por las redes sociales. Estamos en todas las plataformas. Hasta luego. Hello and welcome back to Catching Up with Claudia, la super comadre Claudia of RadioCrystalUSA.com. This is the live stream and the podcast recording of my show. So welcome back. It's been a minute since I was on, and the last time I was on, it was actually election night. And you know which comadre I was going for, but obviously it was not the compadre. And you know what? Where my super comadre did not win, but hey, I'm still winning. I'm still here. When we're still moving forward. And this is what this show is going to be about. I'm going to bring back some super comadres and a super compadre who have been on before. And the question is, I'm going to open up with is, how are you doing post-election? They'll share what they want to share. I'm just going to open the space for them to share. And then afterwards, I'd like for them to share what are they doing to continue uplifting themselves, uplifting and building community. All right, so welcome back. But before we get started, I do want to acknowledge some of my show sponsors that are always sponsoring La Super Comadre Claudia show here on RadioCrystalUSA.com. So Chris Pignon, he is my photographer, an amazing photographer. The holidays are coming up. Actually, the holidays are here. So make sure that you contract him. You know, Chris Pignon does an amazing job capturing those special moments, those milestones. You need a headshot for work, full body shots, whatever. Wait, body shots or something different? But anyway, go ahead and connect with Chris Pignon. He is one of the show sponsors, and he would love to hear from you. Book him for your events. Men Awake, actually, she's going to be on today. Men Awake, if you're feeling some hot flashes, you got some hot flash fog, menopause fog, go ahead and connect with Men Awake, and that way you can get your needs taken care of. Cookie Face Cosmetics, I have on her makeup right now. She always makes sure that I am decked out with eyelashes, with lip gloss, and just dazzling me up for my shows and any other special events that I have to go to. And Ilsa Glam Boutique, I am wearing some earrings from her collection, the Ilsa Glam Boutique. Holidays are here. Get yourself glammed up with the Ilsa Glam Boutique. Make sure you're looking fly and cute. And also, you got to do some shopping. Get your shopping done with Ilsa Glam Boutique. Follow her so that you know where her pop-ups are going to be, and you can go and shop. And that's what I wanted to share today with my show sponsors. And now, what has La Comadre Claudia been doing post-election? Well, you know what? I had the blues. Yes, I was upset. But then the day after, when I listened to VP Kamala Harris give her speech after losing the election, I just wanted to focus on a few words that really spoke to me when she was speaking. And one of the things, this is straight out of her speech, and she said, a fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. We don't show up and cause a ruckus at the White House and break in. We don't do that. And anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it. At the same time, in our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States, and loyalty to our conscience and to our God. And she went on to say, my allegiance to all three is why I'm here to say, while I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign. The fight for freedom, for opportunity, for fairness and the dignity for all people. That is a fight that I will not ever give up. And she also went on to say during her speech the next day is that we will continue to wage this fight in the voting booth, in the courts, and in the public square. And we will also wage it in quieter ways in how we live our lives by treating one another with kindness and respect. Now, that's been super hard for La Super Comadre to do that, right? But I'm going to keep trying because I'm going to listen to her words over and over. I'm going to read them. And she went on to say, making sure that the important thing is that we don't give up. Don't ever give up, she said. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place. You have power. And don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible because it has never been done before. And she also ended her speech the day after the election, after she lost. She added, there is an adage a historian once called a law of history. True of every society across the ages, the adage is, only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. I know many people feel like we are entering a dark time, but for the benefit of us all, I hope that is not the case. But here's the thing, America, if it is, let us fill the sky with the light of a brilliant, brilliant billion of stars. And those were VP Kamala Harris's words at her speech the day after the election. And I'm going to hold on to those words. And I have them here on my laptop. I have them here and as a reminder, because it's hard for La Super Comadre to not say, look, what are we thinking? What happened? Why did you vote that way? You know what? All I can do is just hold space for myself, heal, do the work that I have been given, the mission of building out brain builders, the mission of raising two American, I was going to say American girls. Well, yeah, I guess they are. Two beautiful, talented, intelligent, curious girls, young women. That's my mission, is to be a good friend, is to be a good comadre, is to have this arena, this platform to uplift stories, to uplift resources, to uplift, the amazing things that are happening, that will continue to happen. And was I like in a funk? Yes. Are some of us still in a funk? Probably. Will they ever get out of it? I don't know. Everyone has their own journey. But I do want to provide this space today to bring back some of these amazing comadres and compadres that are out there doing amazing things in the community. And I love using the word amazing, and I'm going to overuse it too, whatever. But I'm going to bring on Ilsa Garcia, otherwise known as Toxica Spice. She is part of my Hey Comadre trio, where we would come together and just share stories about what it's like to be dating, what it's like to be, doing the work of networking and connecting and promoting NHPO, which she has a lot of information here to share. So if I could have my first guest, Ilsa Garcia, the president of the National Hispanic Professional Organization. Please join me now. Bring her on, Liliana. So there she is. You never know when we're going to catch this woman. She is always on the go. Tell me, Ilsa Garcia, how are you and where are you before I ask you the question?
So I'm sorry if there's a lot of noise, but I am at the Humble Parade and tree lighting with my job, Suvita Healthcare. We are in this parade route with Christmas music, and it's really exciting just to be part of the parade itself. So yes, you did catch me on here, but I did not want to miss your show today.
Yes. Now you are also known as hashtag Toxica Spice. Welcome back.
No. Welcome back. I know. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Now look, I just want to hold this space for you. I want to give you a couple of minutes just to ask you the question. How are you doing post-election?
I share everything that you said, Claudia. I know that we worked very hard, Latinas for Kamala Harris, and it was quite a disappointment for all of us. I think we had to take one day to recover from that. and just really, really sit down and think about our future. And I truly appreciated what you said earlier on, that it's not about the chaos, even though it did not go our way. And I did not understand why people would vote the other way. But now, if you see it clear, it's time to get to work. Let's not sit back. Let's not sit down, and let's not forget why or what the mission is ultimately for our, your daughters, for my nieces, for everyone. It's very important that we continue fighting the good fight.
Yes, yes, yes. I can tell you, you were probably the second person the next day that I called.
Yes, we talked about it.
We
It was quite
talked
a
at length.
disappointment. Yeah, we
We
did.
talked
We were
at length.
very disappointed. But at the end of the day, again, we don't sit back. We don't let things happen. We continue to speak our mind, and we do it consciously. And we also do it in a way where it is not a chaos, it's not a fight, but it's something that we need to speak our mind on and continue fighting for justice, equality,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely, absolutely. And I am honored to that we are part of the same fight for everyone. And and for a while there, I'm like, what trouble are you in that I see some red flashing lights on you? And then for you to be,
separate, separate.
like, wait, is it what's going on? What'd you do now? You're not, you're not
I,
trying to get the
I'm not
votes
sure. I'm
recounted, are
going to be
you?
out of jail for tomorrow's events. So,
Yes, 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 yes. So, one of the things that I kept hearing from folks, and like you yourself too, is be we had to take a day. Some of us took a week. I'm still kind of like in and out of it. Like, is this really happening? But whatever. Everybody has their timeline. And now that we are about a month out, we're all coming back. We're all trying to do. We've been doing stuff, and what I wanted you to do is to share what is coming up, because one of the biggest things that I've been hearing is continue to build community, continue to do the work, continue to push forward your missions that are going to uplift, support, help, all of that. So share. First of all, you're over there already at a tree lighting, celebrating the opening of the holidays. But I want you to also highlight what is going on this week and where can folks come together to build community.
absolutely, Claudia. I am honored to be back at year number 2 as president of the NHPO, which is the National Hispanic Professional Organization. And every year, even before then, it's now will be my 10th year with NHPO. But every year we want to give thank you. We want to give thanks to our members, friends, and family for being part of NHPO. But in December, we all gather together to do a toy drive. And this year, as last year, our toys and coats, gently used or new, will go to our great friend, our great partner, Marianne Garcia, Raíces Unidas. We will always want to help Marianne because her mission is so important at this time. She gives back so much to kids, underprivileged kids that really need a toy, that really need these coats, these jackets. And she has been there fighting the good fight, as we like to say. And we're honored to partner up with her for year number 2, Raíces Unidas, to provide toys for the kiddos.
Oh my God, that is wonderful. And I'm excited to be part of that as well. So,
Well,
for the listeners right now that are listening, that are watching, there is a little bit of rain in the forecast. What's going on? Because I know they have a beautiful patio, but I know they have a backup. We always have a backup plan. Talk about the backup plan because we still want people to come out.
absolutely. We always have a backup plan. If you know NHPO, we've been doing this for now the 20th anniversary of NHPO. And I'll get to that in a little bit to invite everyone. But as for tomorrow, we'll be at Jonathan's The Rub, 2929 Navigation. We will be indoors. If the weather permits, we will be outdoors. But it will be a great time either way. We want to thank DJ Aluera for being there for us tomorrow, and a great presentation to Fort Latino, Viri Maldonado, Alexis Vargas. We want to thank them for being our sponsors and helping us host this year's Toy Drive NHPO Christmas as a thank you to our members, friends, family, and our community.
Absolutely. And so, sometimes people ask me and ask us, how much is it to go? What's the charge? What
You
what
know,
what, it, what should they
there is no
bring?
charge. There's
So instead
no
of
charge as long as you bring an unwrapped toy or a jacket, a new jacket, or gently used jackets. Um, these are for children between elementary school all the way to middle school. Just bring what you can, an unwrapped toy. Uh, this will greatly help Raíces Unidas. She'll come on later on the show, but
Mhm.
again, this is a nonprofit that really has helped many children in the East End area.
Yes.
And we really appreciate Marianne because not only does she give the coats, the jackets, the unwrapped toys, but she makes an experience for these kids.
Yes.
They get to see snow, they get to see Grinch, they get to see so many things. And yeah, again, I'm probably stepping on her
Yes.
toes
No, no,
because she'll
we'll
be
give
on
her a
later.
chance.
But again,
Absolutely.
NHPO is completely honored to be part of
Yes.
Raíces Unidas and give back to our community.
All right. So you heard it from Ilsa, the president of the HPO. Bring an unwrapped gift. Bring your business cards because this is also a time for you to connect. We're also going to have a small business vendor market. So if you got to do some Christmas shopping, there are going to be a few people there, a couple of people there that are going to be having items for you,
Right.
stocking stuffers, presents for the office. Come on out, get some light bites. We're going to have a cash bar and wear your best business holiday attire. So I'm excited to be there to support that as well. Ilse Garcia, president of NHPO, thank you
And
so much for joining and sharing and
Claudia,
continuing to build community.
but before I leave, I want to say
Yes.
thank you to you and this amazing show. But
Oh,
before we leave, we will have a surprise. Tomorrow, we will make a big announcement celebrating 20 years of NHPO. So you do not want to miss that. And for everybody out there, I hope to see everyone tomorrow. Jonathan's the Rub at 6:30. The beginning, they'll have small vendors. Again, come and join us. Bring that unwrapped gift. Come and connect with us. We want to see all of you there tomorrow.
all right. Thank you. And have fun at the parade. And I'll see you
I am on my
tomorrow.
way now. Okay. Y'all have a good night. Thank you. Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So you heard it right there from my first guest, how she, what she experienced and then how she's continuing to build community and uplift herself and others. So next I want to bring on another super comadre who was actually with me the night of election, Adriana Rubio Klassen. Come on down. Where are you? There she is. So welcome back. Go ahead and turn on your mic. Make sure you're unmuted. I can't hear you tonight. Yeah, there you go. Girl,
Hello.
You are all bundled up. You're all snuggy snug.
It is so cold in my house.
Oh
I'm
my
telling you, I have
God.
to. I love it. No more hot flashes.
Send some my way.
I
Well,
will.
I want to just touch base with you as well. I want to open up this space for you. And you were here with me and Angel the night of election night, and we were sitting here. We had about three laptops open, a screen, looking at phones, and at what moment did you know that this was not going to go our way, and how did this affect you, if it did?
Here's what happens, right? So, I knew about maybe like when I left your house at 10:30, and
Mhm.
what this did for everyone is it triggered
Mm.
unhealed wounds. So that's why it was so hard for us to wrap our heads around, this, what we thought. We believed that, the movement was so great. The women spoke up, and we really thought that we were going to be heard and seen, and all of that. And Kamala was going to, be named the next president of the United States following Mexico. And it was such a great feeling of our voices finally being heard. And then when the reality hit,
Yeah.
I think more than anything, just to think about the chaos that those 4 years with him brought.
Mm-hmm.
Every day there was chaos and chaos and chaos. And remember, I don't think we had a peaceful day much less a week. You know, there was always some kind of nonsense going on. And because at our age, we are trying to heal from our traumas and live peaceful and loving lives, right? Getting rid of what doesn't serve us and slowly cleaning our hearts out and our minds. This was just a slap in our face, and it was an awful feeling. Um, what I have, the first week was challenging for me because it felt like, man, the bad guys won, you know, not feeling that injustice. Regardless of anybody's ethnicity, the fact that a woman was on that platform to me was the greatest thing. And I loved it. I loved that she brought us together immediately. You know, we rallied behind her, and we were fighting for our daughters and our and women and the young girls. And I had a conversation, a very heated conversation with an ex-family member that I don't think she understood the difference. I'm like, you know, girl, nobody wants to wake up, and I'm just going to say it like this, and have an abortion. Nobody wants to wake up and say, oh, it's a great day to have an abortion. But we do want to wake up and say, hey, it's a great day for me to make a choice about my body. And so I don't think she understood it like that. I'm like, nobody wants to wake up and do that. You know, it's a tough choice.
Absolutely.
Like you should not have anything to do with that decision between her and God and her situation, because frankly, you're not going to help support the child or you're not in her shoes. So, you know, it's about our right to do with our bodies what we want. If you want to get a tattoo, go get a tattoo. If you have diabetes and you want to eat sugar, eat your sugar. You know, it is what it is. That's what it boils down to. So yeah, that part of, you know, that's how it starts. Yeah. You know, we have to look at dictatorships. How does it begin? You know, when you allow them to take this and take a little bit of that and take a little bit of this, and then boom, they take everything from you, all your rights. And that's what we were fighting for. And I don't think people understand that that's what we were fighting for. You know, they just want to, oh, the abortion, you're killing a baby. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that.
It was very, chaotic. The messaging, it was misinformation. It sounds like, for me, what I was seeing. And now moving forward, you mentioned chaos, and you took me straight back to when he was in office the first time, and it was during COVID. And for me, you know, I lost a very dear friend who died of COVID during, because he was a principal of a school, and they had shut down for a bit, and then they were made to open up the schools again, and he contracted COVID and died right away because we didn't have a cure then. We didn't have anything then. So it brings up, like you said, those wounds, those triggers. I had a wound open up. So
absolutely. So that's why, you know, we have to go ground.
Yes.
We have to go meditate. We have to go reconnect with nature.
Absolutely.
Because the way of this world is so harsh that you have to take care of your mind, heart, and spirit, and you have to reconnect every single day to that.
Absolutely. And this is why I brought you back too, because, you know, one, to hold space for you to share, you know, how it affected you. And two, because underneath your name, it says International Women's Fest 2025 at Discovery Green. And it's spelled right now. Yes. I did some promotion and I did it without my readers. And then you're like, girl, what you writing there? And then I was like, let me zoom in. And I'm like, oh, what the hell did I write?
It's all good.
But I love it. You know what? I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. You know, I'm older. My eyes are 50 years old. They're doing the best they can. But I want you, Adriana, to share what is coming up with the what is this International Women's Fest? Because I know you touched on it the last time we spoke. What has transpired since the last time you were sitting next to me on election night up till tonight, and what can people be looking for and when?
So look at this logo, right? She
I love
represents,
it.
her hair represents every nationality. And I'm so proud. It was so much work coming up with this logo. Like I literally became a logo designer, web designer, you know, uh, expert. But this woman represents everyone, not
Mhm.
just Latina, blacks, white. No, the whole entire globe.
Mhm.
And with the Kamala momentum, I was so excited. I got the idea, you know, of an international women's festival, a celebration of womanhood, of community, and self expression, and the diversity that we have here in Houston. And
Mhm.
so I looked up. I'm like, when did we have a festival for women? When's the last time? Well, it has been years. And so, you know, I got on GoDaddy, I got the domain, I did the website and everything. And with the hopes of uniting, you know, I was building up that momentum. So, you know, when she lost, I'm more determined to celebrate women,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know, more determined to celebrate women because we need to. We need to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Building community is so necessary, especially now. You know, and you said momentum. There are some folks and that are like, we're gonna check out now for a bit. And I'm like, yes, it is okay. It is okay to say right now, I just need to regroup myself. I need to regroup myself and my family, and then I'll come out when I'm ready. Yes, everybody has that journey to embark on. And for you to, and here's something that is part of it, join this journey when you're ready. And I am ready to be there, to support, to uplift, to be a part of. Whatever it is that you need for me to do on this day, you can count on me, Liliana
Well, I'm gonna
Elizondo,
have
Radio
you. I'm
Crystal
gonna have
USA.
you. I'm gonna have you on stage. I'm gonna have you maybe do a podcast. We need to.
Okay.
I'm still like trying to figure out all the little details. Right now, what I'm looking for are sponsors.
All right.
We
So
we
set it
have
out right now. Yes.
yeah, we have Coca-Cola, we have the Texans, the Houston Texans, and some other folks, but we really need some big donors, you know, that are um, that where women where we can see that they are supporting women. Um,
Absolutely.
this festival, you know, Discovery Green is not cheap. We have the International, which for 75,000 you can um, be the underwriter, and you have so many benefits. And then we have a $50,000 visionary. We have the $35,000 innovator. We have a 20,000, 20,000, 10,000, 5,000, 1,200, and $750.
Okay. So it looks like you have something for everyone, which however way they
Absolutely.
can. Okay.
Absolutely. And the whole purpose of this, I want to honor. If you go back to the front page, if we go back to the website and go to the front page, I want to honor women. Can we go back to the website, Claudia? Or no, is it too late?
Liliana. Yeah, maybe she can
Can
bring
we
it
go
up.
back to the website?
Go right there. Uh-huh.
So go down. So women, you know, there's exceptional women in every field, right? And go keep going down, keep going down. Um, I want to be able to honor women in leadership roles, women in STEM, women in sports, women in
Oh, right
music,
here.
women
I
in
like this right
art.
here. Here's
Yeah,
where you have it. Yes, where you have women all across arenas, sectors,
right.
industries, and just
Absolutely.
uplifting. Absolutely. And I love, the idea of when you were creating the logo, all women of all nationalities. And that's one of the things that we want to make sure that as you're, putting this out there, to make those direct connections and links to the Asian community, to the Black community, to the women that are the Muslim community. All of us need to continue to come, figure out how to connect, how to interconnect, interlink, however, whatever we need to do, because it is imperative. I'm still with the stronger together, and how to, and another thing too is, as we're doing this, we're going to be to shine, to highlight, to spotlight that, we all count, that we all have something to share, we all have something to give, and we all have something to learn from each other. Absolutely. And sometimes that, wounds that have been opened up with this election, wounds that need to be healed, and probably, I don't know if there will ever be healing, complete, but as long as there's an active participation of acknowledgement of saying, look, this is what my story is, this is what I bring, and this is what I want to share, and this is, let's get to know each other at that level of humanity, Absolutely. And then history, I think, is super important too. If you bring out that history part, like, Houston women, the women that are here, the women that were born here, the women that got here, the women that moved here, what is your history? It's super important right now. It's super important right now to know our history, especially with the local schools that are taking out books, that are taking out libraries, that are not, bringing, they're not okay with the real story of our history. They call it woke, and I call it human rights. The real history. Like, let's make sure that everyone's story is included, and that we all know. And it's not about trying to put someone else down. It's about acknowledging our history, who we are, where we come from, and what better way than women. We birth a lot of things, and we make the world go round. If it wasn't for our wombs, and yes, it takes a man to help us have a baby, right? But if it wasn't for the incubator, we wouldn't have all this.
We were given that role. Think about how grand the role is of birthing a child if you choose to do that. Yes. You get to cook ears and hearts, and you get to create in your vessel, in your body. And so it is magnificent, and we need to look at it like that. God did not choose a man to do that. God did not choose.
We have the ability. Now, Adriana, I want to bring you back again, but I want to say thank you so much for coming on and sharing. I wanted to have this space for you on how you, on the day after the election, and now moving forward with your International Women's Fest. And you'll be coming back again to share more, because I want to pick some time. I want to go down this timeline with you and uplift your festival. And I'm going to see if I can bring you back on, but I want to make sure I get to my other 3 guests.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I want to hold space for them as well. Okay. Mwah.
Love you. Thank you for doing this.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
All right. So we heard from Adriana, the amazing Adriana Rubio, who has the International Women's Fest. She shared her experience. And I want to bring on Angel Quesada. He is an amazing local artist. And so he can share his give him some space, open some space for him to share. How are you doing post-election?
Well, ya tú sabes, mana. Man, it was crazy. We were there, and your girls were like, did he win? I don't want to know. And some people say we got what we deserve, but I think there's just an apathy. And people blame it on the system or whatever, but it's kind of like the narrative. You think about words and language being the key, right? So we're thinking about, this women are this, men are that, and it's fixed, right? But we're just like spiritual beings in these vessels, right? And some people are like, well, no, I identify as blah blah blah, or my pronoun is this or that. And it's just heartbreaking to watch the platforming of destruction, and suffice to say that destruction is a creative force.
True.
There was just so much hopefulness. I just feel like maybe it was the ramping up of Kamala, and some people are blaming Joe Biden, but it is what it is. We've gone through Bush, but now everything's so much, yes, and so much more. We're so much more connected now, and that makes people empowered. But it also kind of shines a light on journalism and how everybody can be a journalist now. You don't even need to ask any pushback questions or whatever. You can just platform anybody. And then, I mean, you have a platform here. And everybody has their point of view, right? So we are America, right? America looks like us. America also looks like them, right? So it's us and them. And I think Vance really did a good job of using language to his advantage, which, the whole eating cats and dogs and the idea of, I just made that up. And so Trump primed us for these alternative facts, right? So we're thinking that it's okay to make stuff up. Just like this is my new baby grand piano here that I'm I'm now a concert pianist, and I just got off of a huge tour. Carnegie Hall was my last gig, and unless you research that, that's who I am. So there's a flattening of humanity that's taking place. So we're just pictures on a wall now, like talking heads, and there's a dehumanization. And I'm just watching these cabinet picks, and I'm like, last night I had a dream about how
this is me with the cabinet pick.
Oh, right. I got myself a little but, I mean, my alcohol intake has really increased, and I gotta watch it, So I'm like exercising more to get all that stress out. But it's just pretty crazy. These I don't know how many will get approved by Congress, even though he's got Supreme Court, he's got both houses. I mean, I say he, but it's also this disdain and this dehumanization of others. That's where we are right now in America. I think America is going through its adolescent, teenage rebellion phase. We're still a relatively young nation compared to most of the world. And so we are breaking things down, and we selected, well, I didn't, you didn't, but
I didn't either.
Barely a majority. And we need to get rid of this damn electoral college.
Electoral college has got to go.
Sorry, but
what you said.
He won by a slight majority, and that's probably just old folks and people who can turn out the vote. You look back at Hillary's thing. I mean, I'm probably not the best person to do a rundown, but I've got my take, and I'm just watching these cabinet picks. I was having this dream about America, which America is a dream, but this dream was like each person that he picks is going to tear down the institution at which they're appointed. They're not qualified other than to tear things down. And he is the candidate of tearing things down. So I don't know what's going to be left, and it's going to be an interesting 4 years, to say the least. I hope that all of my art friends and the comedians get a lot of great material. However, that's what happened when the Nazis took over. We had some amazing art, but let's hang in there, and let's think of the things of how we treat others, and really look at that.
And your byline right here, art saves lives, you know, and we, like you said, out of this, we're probably going to have amazing art, song, poetry, you know,
That's
murals.
that's the thing that's going to save us.
Yeah. And so what I wanted you to also take us into, you know, how you're dealing with this by doing a little bit of drinking and also working out. You got to get the stress out. But I'm assuming, you know, kind of if you could talk a little bit about an amazing mural you did with the Divine car wash, where you were inspired post the election.
Well, when Trump won the first time, or Voldemort won the first time, I wanted to paint this image of destruction of innocence, the destruction of innocence, and I felt that it was not appropriate at that time. So I decided to paint something cute and adorable, and that's what I wound up doing. So
it was a puppy. It was a puppy.
Yeah, it was a puppy just kind of walking. It was really cute.
And then this time?
This time I was like, nah, gloves are off. I'm going to paint this. So I painted this lamb. You can see it on my Instagram page. I go by Art Kung Fu, ARTKUNGFU. And it's a lamb, the innocent lamb to slaughter, you know, getting stabbed, and bleeding. It's really adorable and at the same time really harrowing, and
yes,
it was heartbreaking. So
it was heartbreaking. I saw you make it. I saw when you drew it, and I think you drew it about 2 days after the election or the day after. You said, I just need to go draw. Because you didn't know, you were like a couple of days before this event, and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. You were asked, hey, what are you doing? I don't know. I probably just wait until after the election. And that was how it almost felt like that was your response on how you know, navigated post-election, which was through your art. And, you know, art saves lives, and it made a statement. And I remember as you were painting it, the tongue was kind of hanging out. And then it wasn't hanging out like it was totally dead. But I like what you said, that it was, the tongue was sticking out like it was going down fighting. And I like that.
You know, that's one version of the image, and I could probably keep working it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just leave it there. And you know, the event that Ilse was talking about that you all are going to be a part of, I'm going to be there. I don't have any images of that work yet, but like I said, you can go to my Instagram and see that. I'll be there with some prints of the barrio where the event is taking place. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I wanted to hold space for you as well, as you were here that evening with Adriana and I, and also what's next. You know, the next works that are going to come out, the works that are going to be inspired, the work that's going to save us and help us to get through these 4 years, you know, and come out okay on the other side, having to probably rebuild from whatever's left. But thank you so much for taking the time. And I'll see you tomorrow. We'll be there at the NHPO, you know, networking and toy drive, and Angel Quesada will be there with a table. Actually, one of his murals, you will be able to see it from Jonathan Zarub, and you'll be able to have a chance to meet with him, get a chance to see his artwork, and connect, build a community. That's what the show is about today, and that's what tomorrow is about as well. We're going to have to continue uplifting each other, supporting each other, sharing our gifts and talents, because that's what's going to get us through the next 4 years. Thank you, Angel.
Thank you.
I'll see you soon. All right, so we heard from Angel. So amazing artist. You can catch him tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, I'm going to bring up now my second to the last guest, Mary Ann Garcia, also known as #Mamona Spice, also part of the Hey Comadre crew. And I want to just bring her on. I want to hold space for her. Hey, Comadre.
Hey.
So I'm gonna, your smile, your energy. Thank you so much. I get a chance to go on vacation with you by watching where you go. So thank you, because that heals me too. But I want to
I
bring
needed
you
that
here.
vacation after the election, actually.
Which I want to go into it. How are you doing? Share a little bit about that.
Yeah,
And then take
well,
us into your event.
Yeah, so I think that after watching the election, all I could really think about was how now more than ever, the work that we are all doing on today's show is very important, and our work is actually, we need to highlight it and work harder more than ever now, because we need it. We need to build community. We need to keep on fighting that fight, especially for our young girls out there, because we have to be the voice for them, because if things go the way it's projected to go, then we will not have a voice. And that's why it's super important to keep on fighting that fight, and to just, not create boundaries, not, you know what I mean? I mean, I know that there's healthy boundaries, right? But,
Absolutely.
I feel like we've just gone back in time. And that's scary.
Yeah.
That's very scary. But that being said, the only other thing I can think of is, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to get dual citizenship?
We want to go to Monterrey and hang out.
So
that's why.
Man, like that's something that was part of one of my 2025 goals, was to get my dual citizenship. So and I'm just try and visit my motherland as much as possible before, because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how, if we'll be able to travel, to our neighboring countries. You just don't know. The what ifs and the uncertainties are very scary. And so now more than ever, we just have to keep on fighting that good fight. And
I like what you're saying. I wrote it down. Now more than ever, we need to highlight. We need to, keep up the work, keep up the fight, and then, but with that, tell me about, Raíces Unidas and how building community, supporting your mission. What is coming up? How can people connect with you? Yes. And we're going to be out there tomorrow at the NHPO, toy drive and networking. How can we be a part of what you're doing with your fight for the community?
Well, my fight has, I wear, many hats, and of all the hats that I wear, this is the most important one to me. And that's Raíces Unidas, because I created Raíces Unidas 5 years ago out of just pure gratitude, because I was at a pivotal moment in my life where I was just grateful to my higher power for just, I started from scratch all over again, what seemed like my entire life. And I was just grateful for the opportunities that were given to me. So I reached out to a cousin of mine who was a principal at a school in the East End, where we grew up, and a lot of the work that we do is in the East End. And I said, hey, I want to give back, I want to help. And so she introduced me to a community of in the East End that really just very underserved. And so 5 years ago, it started off with us, or me at the time, sponsoring 33 kids that came from Guatemala with just the clothing on their backs, one or no parent, a family friend, they had a long journey. And so she gave me a little bit background of their story and how they were just in need of just basic necessities. And that just brought a lot of awareness to me. And I'm like, man, there's resources out there, but people don't know how to take advantage of those resources, or they don't have a voice, or they're afraid to ask for the help. And so that's kind of how Raíces Unidas came about. We connect people to resources. And then, so throughout the year, we do little small things here and there and help sister organizations. But the biggest project for us is our holiday experience, right? And so what started off with 33 kids 5 years ago has now evolved to 4 complete elementary schools where we create an entire experience, bringing artificial snow, Santa, Grinch, gifts, coats, and pretty much help build those core memories, because a lot of these children, this is the only type of experience, holiday experience, that they will get. And this is something, you know, that the families don't have to worry about, because they're busy worrying about how to put roof over their heads or food on their table. And all of this, you know, Raíces Unidas is me. It's me. That's it, right? So I could not do this without the help of just the people that I'm surrounded by, like you, Ilsa, just NHPO, just people that have reached out, that have volunteered, you know, throughout the years, and just kind of seen the impact that these experiences have, you know. And it's just incredible. And it's an amazing feeling to know that, you know, we're able to help create those core memories for these children who we really don't know what type of journey they've led them to that moment, you know?
Yeah. And this is so needed. So needed for 2 reasons I see too now.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
for me.
But
I remember this. It's building those core memories, is letting these little ones know, like, hey, welcome, you belong here.
Yes.
And then for us, who now we're about to go into what could be, like, you know, VP Kamala said, what might feel like a dark time, we need to continue shining the light on the work, on these little ones, on each other, to get through this. And I want to say thank you for putting yourself out there, for creating, for imagining, for envisioning, for taking care of yourself too, to come back and continue doing the work. But I wanted to you know, invite everybody again tomorrow, because you're going to be there. And I want you who are listening, who are watching, to come out, meet Marianne, ask her, what can I do to support Raíces Unidas? And I just want everyone to know, for those of you, the way I translate it, united by our roots. I love that image you have, because in the end, we all bleed the same. In the end, you know, we're all made of the light of the ground. I don't want to sound all hippie, but we're all made from the same light, the same air, the same water, the same ground, you know, that our parents are drinking and eating to create us inside. Then we get popped out, and we're, you know, but I know that we all have different journeys and experiences. But that's okay, because what unites us is that we're all part of the human race, and we need each other, and we need to listen and care.
That's so true.
So
it is so true. We're all human beings. We all cry the same, laugh the same.
Absolutely.
So we all need each other to survive.
We do.
And so I'm just very grateful that I have people like you in my life, and Ilsa, and just other people that believe in Raíces Unidas and our mission and our journey. If you want to contribute, or if you want to sponsor in any way, there's several opportunities and several ways to participate. Like Ilsa said, and Claudia said, tomorrow NHPO is having their annual toy drive. And thank you so much. You know, this is the 2nd year that we've partnered up for this toy drive. So we will be at Jonathan's The Rub tomorrow, starting at 6:30. We would love for you to join us. If you cannot join us tomorrow, there's another opportunity as well on Saturday. And I want to thank Larry Hernandez with Borracho Cookers and Henry Sanchez, owner of Heladas Ice House. They are also putting together a toy drive benefiting Raíces Unidas and the 4 schools that we are going to be creating these experiences for on Saturday from 12 and all day, live free all day, live music, food, entertainment. We're going to have a couple of surprises as well. And if you can't go on Saturday, then we have another Alley Theater, Valdemar Rodriguez. So this is actually the 3rd year that the Alley Theater has dedicated 1 full day for their employees to volunteer and gift wrap. And and so anyone that wants to volunteer and help gift wrap, there's several opportunities, but on the 13th, the Alley Theater will be opening up their doors, and all day you can come in, you can look at the beautiful trees that are displayed, but also help by wrapping some gifts, help sort. So it's just a lot of
a good time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but it's all for a good cause. And also,
Absolutely.
thanks to Angelica Casares, which is a great friend of ours in Latina Podcast. They're going to be sponsoring as well. So not only, this is the first year that not only are we creating wonderful experiences for all of these wonderful deserving children, but we are also going to be creating a beautiful experience for our volunteers. So that's a big surprise as well. So if you want to volunteer, if you want to participate, all of those opportunities start next week on the 11th. Reach out to me on my social media platforms, send me an email, or just message me online, and I can give you all of the details. Again, any unwrapped toys, gently used or brand new coats, or if you don't have time to go shopping, we accept donations as well, monetary donations, and we can send one of our volunteers shopping to get toys or however you, or volunteer your time, because time is currency, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we welcome everyone, and not only that, but if you want to come and be a part of the experience with us, because the more volunteers, not only wrapping, but to go with us to the schools and just be a part of it, that's also helpful as well. So
absolutely.
Let us know.
I love it all. So like my commies said, Marianne, follow, like, share her information, get connected with her, pick one way, all ways that you can support Raíces Unidas, and meet her tomorrow if you get the chance at Jonathan's Rub and talk to her one-on-one. Well, Marianne, I want to close here with you, but it's not the end. We're going to continue connecting, but I also want to give a chance for my next comadre to come on and open space for her. But I thank you for being here with me, and I'm with you, and whatever we can do to continue supporting and uplifting each other these next 4 years and beyond. Yes. Aquí estamos. Y no nos vamos.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So I'm going to bring on my final super comadre, the Reverend Dr. Stephanie Wilkins. Would you please make your way, because you are the closer. And I'm going to open up the space.
How
are you doing?
I hope you're ready for me.
I am.
Because I have my perspective is different. Because it's obvious. I'm an African-American woman. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So the question that has been posed for everyone is, how are you doing? I'm doing the best I can, based on the reality, the proof that we do not live in a post-racial America. It is not getting better. We are not the community that we keep saying we are. What happened on November 5th broke my heart, but it cleared my vision. Because on that night, it was proof positive. It doesn't matter how educated you are. It didn't matter how much experience you had. It did not matter how you were clearly the better candidate. The Electoral College and the people of America, because I no longer say the United States, because it is so not united. They let us know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're willing to do anything, legal or illegal, moral or immoral, to maintain white supremacy. And then to understand that white is a social construct, but it is something that the people are fighting for. The browning of America is the thing that scares people the most. And as sad as I was, because I went to bed, I just couldn't take it anymore. I worked the election. I worked before the election. I was on that call when they said I'm one of 44,000, when they called that meeting within a few hours, and 44,000 African-American women got on that call, and within 3 hours raised $1.5 million. I was on that call. I worked it. The phone banking, the text banking, voter registrar, precinct chair, election judge. I put my feet to work And a lot of other people put their feet to work. As sad as I am, I'm still proud because as an African American woman, the lowest on the totem pole, the one who always is the scapegoat, we showed up. 92 or 93%, depending on who you listen to. But over 90% of African American women showed up.
Yes, ma'am.
They showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And so only 54 years after the ending of Jim Crow, we are now in the era of James Crow Esquire. And James Crow Esquire does not discriminate. He will put it to women, men, minorities. But what I think is going to happen, we're going to have to see what it looks like when people go their own way, own selfish motives, when people are for their own self-interest. We're going to have to see what that looks like. So what am I doing post-election? First of all, I rested because I was tired. Where I am now is where I'm also checking on my sisters. My sisters, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? We talk about community, and I hear you, but I live in the real world. What I noticed is that we as African Americans, we show up for everybody else. But as soon as you put the label of Black on it, other people say, oh, they're not talking about us. If you really want community, that means you're going to have to show up for everything. Then I'm a part of an organization called Pure Justice. Pure Justice is about criminal reform, advocacy. PUREJUSTICE.org. They have meetings. They are supporting people who go into jail. And the people who go into jail look like you and I, Claudia. And a lot of times they go in and they get stuck in a system just because they don't have the finances to bond out. They don't have the money to get a good lawyer to get them off like some others do. I'm also a part of the Houston Black American Democrats. And the website is HOUSTONBLACKDEMS.org. We work on vetting and supporting African American candidates. Got to come to meetings. We need to see, if you're saying you're part of community, if I'm going to NHPO, if I'm going to other things of that nature, I need to see my comadres show up for us. We're tired. As women, we're tired. We're tired. But we know we have to keep it moving. So we're doing self-care. We're taking care of mental health. I also have written some devotional journals that talk about overcoming grief and reclaiming joy, because we are grieving. We're in a state of mourning right now because we had so much hope. So much hope for the future. But what you're looking at right now is a clear indication that at all cost, 34-count felon, indicted on so many things, they would rather put him in and put other people in who have no qualifications so that they can unroll and this Project 2025, where it is going to, everybody's going to be in survival mode. If it comes to pass, my friend, we're all going to be in survival mode and trying to figure out how we can make it. And some of us are trying to decide if we even are safe to stay in America. That's our reality. We have to keep ourselves safe. So what we're doing right now is trying to figure out alternative ways of survival, because I hate to say it that way, but I just think realistically, we are going to have to see some dark days for people's vision to get real clear. The last thing I want to bring up, it is Giving Tuesday, and I am associate pastor at St. John's downtown. If you want to give to an organization that doesn't look at your skin color, it looks at the fact that if you need something, we're knocking ourselves out trying to give it to you. It's the Bread of Life. BREADOFLIFE. FAVORITA.org. If you want to put your legs to praying, if you want to put your prayers into action, breadoflifeinc.org. Sign up. Sign up. We do distribution. And we don't care what your skin color is. We don't care what you drive up in. We don't care what your situation is. If you say you have a need, we're giving you products, and support and resources. So,
and this is every Wednesday.
At the warehouse.
At the warehouse?
At the warehouse, you can sign up to work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you actually want to participate in distribution, it is the first and the third Saturdays of every month. Our next distribution will be December, whatever that third one is, the 21st. December the 21st from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. You want to talk about seeing everybody from every end of the spectrum coming together? Come to breadoflifeinc.org. I do have hope, but I'm also realistic about how this is going to play out, because the pieces are in place. The pieces are in place. That doesn't mean we give up. Vice President told us we can never give up, but we also have to take care of self, take care of our families. You remember what Mike used to say, that's the one thing I carry with me from the KIP days. You got to put on the oxygen mask for yourself first, then secure everybody else.
Absolutely.
So that's what I've been doing, is reclaiming my breath and knowing that it is okay to feel the grief, the mourning, but to also understand we've been here before. We've been here before as a people. And so together, we're either going to sink or swim. Now it is time for all the other groups to come alongside African-American women, because we've been fighting this
You've been there
for a long time.
You've been there. You as a group have been holding it down.
Yeah.
And I remember going to your first workshop that Saturday after the election.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can tell you that myself, I had a hard time looking into the eyes of Black women around me when I went to the stores, because I felt like I let you down. I felt like I felt like I let you down. And then I also was thinking, and also I've mentioned this to some other folks, like, we need to have a real conversation about colorism within our own community. And how is it that we are to the point that we are going to follow a man who has all these things that's not what a leader is. That's not what we tell our kids at home how to act. That's not what we do. That's not how we treat each other. So why are you following this? I don't, but I can tell you, it was never a price about the eggs, and it was never about the price of eggs or gas. It was never that.
It's a power play.
It's a power play. And that's another thing that we need to also talk about, is when we in the Latino community, quote unquote, make it, and we are accepted into certain communities, suburbs, whatever, workspaces, that all of a sudden and some of us have been told, oh, you're not like them, your other Latino, brethren. You're different. Because XYZ, because you make this amount, because you're educated, because you speak English, you don't have an accent, because you're a little bit lighter than you can pass. So that's another conversation, I believe. Yes. I don't even know how that's going to start, but we need to have our own soul searching.
Yes.
Because I can tell you, and I'm not going to, call out family names, but I can tell you that growing up, I did hear why some family members would move out to way out, because they were trying to get away from the Black communities that were moving in. And I'm like, that's kind of dumb, but okay. But I was the one that always would show up and say things, and they would see me coming. Oh, there comes Claudia. She's going to say whatever. And I remember shutting down family members who would use the N-word
Yes.
And I'm like, no, why are you saying that? I mean, and then when my kids rolled around and I had kids and we would show up to the functions and that was said, I remember the first time that was said with my kids, oh, I was like, that is unacceptable. You're not going to say that. And especially my kids, I don't want them to learn that.
Right.
So that's what it takes is for our family. Now, unfortunately, that's a word that is used a lot in songs. And so a lot of kids use it freely. But even then, that is, to me, that is not appropriate. And there's a lot of conversations, there's a lot of soul searching that we as a community of Mexican American, you know, peeps, Latinx, whatever we want to call each other, that we need to take a close look at it, because I do have family members that benefited directly or indirectly by family members who were established here under programs that were under Democrat policies.
Oh, wow.
And they have made it, and they have seemed to have forgotten the backs, the loans, the help, the you can stay at the house across the street from me, which was my dad's house, for rent, without low rent or no rent, because you just got here,
right?
And you need to establish yourself. You're not even a citizen yet, but that's okay. We're going to help you out.
Right. I really think that before they take all of the books out of the schools, somebody needs to try to put it in a format that people can access it, because they really are trying to erase what they've done.
Yes.
Okay. But you would be to know your history, to know the similarity between Black people who were brought over, Hispanic, Mexican, Spanish speaking people. All of us have been enslaved at one time or another. And so to then want to distance yourself, I get that to some degree, because you get tired of being oppressed. I don't mind somebody wanting to be better, do better, but
don't forget where you come from.
Don't forget where you come from, but also then don't crap on the people
that are trying to do the same, better themselves.
Do the same thing. It's just, I really wish we could get to a space and place, and I don't know if we'll ever get to it in this lifetime, where you could just live and let live.
Yeah.
For you to want your supremacy at the cost of somebody else's oppression. Okay, because that's what it is. I want the making America great for who?
For who?
For those who have been assigned whiteness, because it's a social construct. But
it is.
We showed up, and so we're kind of like, we're looking to say, okay, now what are you all going to do to let us know that you are actually an ally or an advocate, because you left us in the rain again. When you look at the percentages of the other races, we went like gangbusters. And
yes,
then everybody else said, yes, we're with her. Yes, we're with her. But the stats showed we did not have the advocates and the allies and the supporters that we thought that we did. And so, but again, we've been here before, but we're going to take a pause.
And that's okay.
We're taking a pause right now. But I also want you to know that workshop is coming, retreat is coming.
Yes.
Because I know that as an associate pastor, hope and joy are always accessible. Always accessible. And I wish no one any harm. I'm praying, because I feel like there are going to be some things that are going to come in these next days, weeks, and months that are going to be very, very hard to see and deal with in this country.
Yeah. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know how to say it, but for those that did vote for him are probably going to learn the hard way.
The hard way.
And, you know, it's like Angel said earlier, it's almost, he's picking a cabinet that is coming in to dismantle. And I don't know, I guess people forgot that saying, you know, you should never throw out the baby and the bathwater. Are things perfect? No, we're still a very young nation, like he said, compared to other nations. Do we need to grow? Of course.
Yes.
But this growth is not the growth that I it doesn't include everybody. And
what he did was, what 45 did was,
because I don't name him either.
He made it okay to hate out loud again. And that's the part that broke my heart.
Yes.
Is to understand that there was still so much hatred in people's hearts that they were willing to put somebody who really should be in jail to put him back into office. But again, it has cleared my vision, and I hope it has cleared some others' vision to know that you keep saying that, no, we're not like that. No, we're not people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are.
You are. And because I know these family members and what they say and how they would talk about Black people and Black communities. So you're not going to tell me that you chose him because I don't follow the media. I do my research. I remember hearing some things at the family gatherings, and we're a little off. And maybe these family members were younger and they didn't hear it, but I heard it because I was older, and I would say things about like, and so that's where I am like, damn, we really were kept from our history.
Yes.
We were not given we were not taught or we were not told, hey, you have greatness and you also were a beneficiary of the civil rights movement. Like all of that. I don't know where people were in that class.
I don't know.
But that's one thing that I do share. I'm like, hey, the reason why you live in these nice neighborhoods is because there were some people, some Black people that died, that marched, and there were some brown people that joined too, and some white people. But we did not have civil rights legislations passed because the president one day and said, oh man, we should probably let these. No, it's because arms were twisted.
Right.
Because boycotts were made.
Yes.
Because people were lining up and not doing.
You have to put pressure on.
Yeah, you have to put pressure.
And
so
you're right.
So and let's not forget that we had the creation of our land, of the Americas, whatever you want to call it, was on the backs of enslaved folks, Black folks.
Yes.
People of color.
They came over. And
Chinese people, weren't they brought over?
Already inhabited. They took it over.
Yeah.
The land was already inhabited. So
the land was already here. I was already here.
Yeah.
Related to the people that were here. And that's another thing too that our history does not include. And that myself, born here, yes, we are a mixture of the European people that showed up here.
Yes.
But we are more American and we are more of this land than the person in that office.
I agree.
And my family or my peoples of the Latino heritage seem to either not know, don't want to know, or if they know, don't want to partake and don't care. Because I got mine and I can blend in and I can assimilate.
Yes.
And I think that's a
tragedy. And that's a trauma response.
Yeah.
That is a trauma response. When you've been oppressed, when you are struggling, when you finally come out of it, you don't want to remember that, but you have to. You have to remember it. You have to honor it. Yes, it's painful, but it is part of your heritage. It is part of your DNA.
Absolutely.
It's what kept you. It's what kept you. It made you the person that you are. So no, you should not want to just disavow that aspect of yourself, because when you look at the contributions of those who came over from other lands, it's already, the fabric is interwoven.
Absolutely.
And I just wish that we didn't have the hatred and the group.
Absolutely. And this country is the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's what life is. And acknowledging that doesn't mean that someone else is less than or you're terrible. No, this is just how it is, This was our
And you
history.
learn from it.
And you learn from,
so
and you don't repeat it.
Repeat it.
So, Dr. Stephanie Wilkins, Reverend Doctor,
Yes.
you have some workshops coming up, and I know that these are so needed. And I was there to witness your first one, and I will say that it came at a time when it was so needed. And I was actually just there just to help host. I was on the side, you know, and then I was like, well, I got some unpacking to do. And I want to say thank you for allowing me that time and that space to be on both sides of the camera.
One more thing. If anybody wants to know about the upcoming workshops and retreats, they can go to my website. It's Reverend Dr. StephanieTWilkins.com. I'm going to spell it ReverendDrStephanieTWilkins.com.
And there it is.
Go in, put in your email, and so you will be alerted to upcoming workshops and retreats, because I'm going to hold off on January because we've got to see how this is going to play out. But my hope is by February, we will have another retreat. I want to have a brunch for Mother's Day. I want to bring just like Adriana. So I'm excited about that International Women's Festival. We want to honor women who are out here doing it, just
absolutely
doing it. So
yeah, and you and her, I'm going to connect y'all just so that y'all can be in each other's fold, because this is what it is, us showing up for each other's events, workshops, the Bread of Life Inc., whatever it is that's out there, because you know, I mean, it's okay to take that pause. I'm all about pausing. I've been pausing for so much, and I was like, there were days and I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
This is the upside down. This is the inside out. This is this was a bad relationship with America, with the United States. I was like this. I felt like I was in a situationship, and they finally told me, yeah, you don't matter. I really didn't want you.
Right.
You know,
and then just be gone. Okay.
And then the shame of letting you down, like letting Black women down, you know, that. And then my girls, my sister-in-law, I still call her my sister-in-law, out in California. She was like, hey, you need to send your girls to California. I mean, you know what? I just might have to take you up on that. They got two more.
Because Texas is doing some things. They're doing some things that are really
some upside down, some inside out, upside down, and you know, they got 2 more years. And I do want to close with this. Thank you. And I wanted to honor you, hold space for you, and know that whatever it is that you're on board with, I'm on board. Please let me know so I can share it. I can do my part to create those bridges, to give me the strength to have those difficult conversations when it's time, and they will present themselves. And also, speaking of my 2 girls, they're going to be on next time. They're in 2 weeks. I'm going to have them on, and they're going to talk about their experience at HSPVA and how to support other families and guide them with tips and strategies, because at least there's one school left, I guess, high school, one of a handful that are being left alone by the current superintendent, and they're able to thrive. And I want them to share their experience. And you watch them be born and grow.
I did.
So I want to,
and
Pilar, yes. So they're
my God babies. Too.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So they'll be on next time in 2 weeks to share their testimony. And I want to say thank you for being such a great role model.
Thank you.
A support, a help, and
thank you. Always.
Yes. Always. I know it's not even a word. It's just.
It's not. It's that. It's that.
All right.
Thank you, comadre.
Thank you, comadre. Until next time. All right. Now we have come to the end of catching up with my super comadres and super compadre post-election. And the question I posed was, how are you doing? Everyone has their experience. Everyone has their mourning period, whether it was a day, whether it was a month, whether it is in question. And that's okay. All we can do is wake up do some self-care, take care of our needs, take care of ourselves, take care of our families. So, by putting on that mask, we got to do that first. Put on the oxygen mask first before you do the work and support other endeavors and organizations and events. But first comes your self-care. And I am not the best at doing it, but I am trying, and especially now more than ever, is making sure that I eat, that I exercise, that I rest, that I say no if I need to say no to things, and say yes to the things that bring connection and joy, and push and move a mission that is aligned with the work that I do. So that was Catching Up with Claudia, la super comadre of RadioCrystalUSA.com, holding space, and building community, rebuilding, sharing, and events that are coming up. So you heard from all. Hopefully I can hear from you. Do you have something you would like to share? Let me know. And that way I can bring you up on Catching Up with Claudia, la super comadre. Next time, I'll have my two comadritas of my own, Citlali and Pilar. Will be sharing the process that they went through to audition for the high school for the performing and visual arts. Yes, they both auditioned and they both got in. And they have some tips and strategies that they would like to share with you. So join us in 2 weeks for that show. Adios. Gracias por haber estado aquí en el show Catching Up with Claudia. ¿Tan tan? ¿Ya terminamos? Okay, bye.
Música variada, interesantes shows en vivo, tu mejor opción en internet, Radio Cristal USA.